Hello and welcome to German cooking. You want to bake this dark crusted rye bread with me? Okay, let's do it. To mix the dough for our bread, I have the two pre-doughs. That is the rye flour with the sourdough and sourdough starter and the water. And this is the other pre-dough, which is wheat flour, a little bit of yeast and water. And I prepared this yesterday, and you see this dough was quite fermented or risen to a high level and shrinked again. So that is when it is ready, that's a good sign. And the same with the other dough here as well. So I mix those two together, and then I put in the flour. So it's a lot of flour because it's a big bread we make. And I show you this in a hand mixer because most of your mixers will not be large enough for this dough in a mixer. But I have a mixer where I can mix it, but that's normally not the case. So that is normal rye flour over here, and I have high gluten flour over here. High gluten flour or bread flour, it's important for this recipe because the rye does not have so many gluten, so we need a little bit more gluten, and we use high gluten flour for this. I add a little bit of extra yeast, that is instant yeast, and I mix this in here a little bit into the flour. I also have salt, a lot of salt, and this is some spices. It's some bread spices. It's a mix I made myself, and the recipe you will find below the video. And I ground it in my mill, but you can get those ingredients in the ground version and mix it yourself as well. And it's a typical thing for South Germany when you buy a bread that has a dark crust like this one will have, that you have some spices in there, and it gives a very good flavor. So, and I use my Danish whisk over here to incorporate that a little bit with the sourdough. And then, yes, of course, we add some more water to it. The water I have here, this is hand warm water, so a little bit warm, and it supports a little bit the yeast to activate. So if you have a large mixer, you can put everything in the mixer and mix it on slow at the beginning for the first few minutes, and then up to 6 minutes in a medium speed. But what I will use over here is, we will start with the whisk over here, and then we do it in the old traditional way and knead with our hands. I can smell the spices already. Oh, that's nice. So now it gets a little bit dry over here. It's a very stiff dough because of the rye flour. Rye flour is very stiff. When we mix it with the hand, we don't need to mix it as strong as with a mixer, because we will fold it a little bit, and then this gives some strength to the gluten. It's a different method. The mixer does the same, but it needs a little bit more time with the mixer. It sounds a little bit ridiculous, but it is. Because the technique, the physical technique is different, and so you see the dough comes off the bowl already. So, and for hand mixing, I would say that's enough already. So it's very strong, very stiff dough. And what I do now, I cover it with some plastic wrap. I just take a plastic bag and let it rest for around about 1.5 to 2 hours at room temperature. Okay, let me just grab a plastic bag. Okay. Take the plastic bag, cover that, and forget it for the next 2 hours. The bread rested now for 2 hours, and you see it's just lovely looking at the moment. So we take it out of the bowl now and do the pre-shaping. Okay. So what I do is I degas it a little bit and do some stretch and folds. Now I fold each corner into the middle and try to shape a nice spread out of it. So this needs to rest for another half an hour roundabout, and in the meantime I prepare the oven and preheat the oven to 250 degrees. So the bread rested now for 20 minutes, 30 minutes. The oven is ready as well. I put an iron cast form at the bottom of the oven so I can add some steam in there. So I will transfer it now to my tool over here and into the oven on the hot stone, and then we will hopefully get a nice oven spring there as well. So I push it a little bit together over here. Okay. Some flowers on the hand. On there, it's just a little bit tricky because we need to get it off there as well. Okay, now it's sticking. Okay, so it goes into the oven, and that's how it looks like. It's a very dark crust, and that's what we want over here. And now let's see if it is baked thoroughly. So it baked for 90 minutes now in total. Yeah, that sounds good. The bread is ready and cooled down, and it's still a little bit warm, but I want to cut into it and show you how it is. So how do you cut a bread like that? I cut it in half. Oh yes. Here's the crust. Oh, that's awesome. That's how it looks like. And cut slices. Cut that in half again. So we have a quarter. And then you can cut slices of that, which is oh, nice flavor. Thank you for watching German cooking.